Did you know that a number of famous movies and literature exist that describe just what's going on in the U.S. government today? And that is how people hand their power over to a leader. And I'll share some of those themes and messages. Welcome to American News Trust. I'm Steele Black. Before I start, some of you may be saying, how is anyone handing power over to a president? He's the president. And the answer to that is, the GOP-controlled Congress today has passed the least number of bills of all Congresses in modern history. They have given up their power and allowed the president to govern and act via executive order and even in violation of law. So let's get started with The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. The evil being Sauron does not just rule by force. His power predominantly comes from two things: accepting or desiring the power Sauron offers. For instance, a person accepts the offer to become Secretary of State because they are extremely attracted to the power of that office. But to maintain that power, they have to do the bidding of the president, no matter how horrible an act the president requires. This is a powerful trap for a human being, and this is why parents above all things should teach their children character, so that we won't become enslaved or trapped in these situations. Tolkien's point is that evil advances when people believe they can use power without being corrupted. So my analogy is to think about fire. You can use fire, but you have to recognize it will burn you, unless you use it in the proper manner. But even then, you can get burned. Then there's 1984 by George Orwell. The story follows Winston Smith, a man living in a totalitarian state where the government, led by Big Brother, controls every aspect of life through surveillance, censorship, and psychological manipulation. As Winston secretly rebels by seeking truth and love, he is ultimately crushed by a regime that enforces absolute power by controlling reality itself. The point Orwell is making is that the regime's control exists because people surrender truth itself, accepting lies to please themselves. Like, for example, the immigrants are causing all the problems. We have to do something about them. When in fact, they bolster our economy and are less likely to commit crimes. Animal Farm by George Orwell. The animals overthrow their human oppressors, but then gradually surrender authority to Napoleon the pig through apathy, fear, and propaganda. The message is that tyranny is enabled not just by cruelty, but by compliance and forgetfulness. Has America forgotten that we overthrew the tyranny of England only to now accept the tyranny of a president? At least I would hope not. The Once and Future King by T.H. White. This is the one I like most. Here King Arthur's noble system collapses because good intentions and rigid ideals leave openings for manipulation and betrayal. The key idea is that evil doesn't always overthrow good. Sometimes good systems collapse under their own moral contradictions because women and men are not perfect. In this country, we talk about Make America Great Again, for example. While the glaring contradictions are the horrible history of the all but disposal of Native Americans, slavery, the massacres of numerous wealthy black communities following slavery, the Japanese internment camps, the Klan, segregation, the Vietnam War, the assassination of our great white and black leaders, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and on and on. Yet many people become extremely angry if you even question statements like, "Make America Great Again." All because they can't accept the simple truth that America has done some really awful things. And T.H. White's point is that this type of denial is how good systems collapse under their own moral contradictions. In other words, just acknowledge the truth, don't hate it, do better, and move forward. If you like this content, please subscribe, hit the like button, and share.